Boo, 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 boo.
He'll do anything for $1,
Me too,
even if it
nigga.
means breaking the law. Let's break down all the times Mr. Krabs' thirst for profit.
First off, this shot go out to Mr. Krabs, a real penny pinching nigga, you feel me? Shout out to all my penny pinching niggas out there that really care about their bread and treat their bread like it's their woman. Cause that's how you get to the real dough, to the real cheese. Mr. Krabs is probably a billionaire in Spongeland. You feel what I'm saying? In Bikini Bottom. You feel me? Real shit. So I can never hate on a nigga that's damn near a billionaire. He watching out for Pearl, you feel me? That's his Pearl. That's his daughter. You know what I'm saying? That's all he got. He don't got no more kids. He probably don't let her touch no bread either. Cause he rich, but you not. Real shit though. I know y'all black parents told y'all that before. I got money, but you don't. You feel me? That's just life though. Your parents got the money. You really don't. Broke bitch. Get up and go make some money, nigga. Anyways. Shout out my nigga. Let's go.
Profit should have put him behind bars. In One Course Meal, Mr. Krabs takes his rivalry with Plankton to a horrifying new level, subjecting him to intense psychological torment that nearly drives Plankton to the brink of
I would have done it too, nigga. Stop trying to play with my money.
ending his life. The episode begins with Mr. Krabs enjoying a money bath when he smells something burning. It's not gas, thankfully. Spongebob identifies the smell as Plankton's new explosives, and before Krabs can do anything about it, Plankton blows up the Krusty Krab. Using a machine, Plankton captures both SpongeBob and Mr. Krabs, tickling his rival with a feather to extract the information he wants, the secret formula to the Krabby Patty. SpongeBob, in his panic, comes dangerously close to revealing the location of the secret formula, but just as Plankton is about to seize his victory, Mr. Krabs' daughter, Pearl, enters the kitchen. Plankton, terrified of whales, flees back to the chum bucket. Realizing that Plankton has a weakness, Mr. Krabs asks Pearl if he can borrow one of her dresses. It's not as weird as it all sounds. Well, it is, but it actually is. At the chum bucket, Plankton explains his intense fear of whales to his computer wife, Karen, revealing that whales ate his family members. Karen is unsympathetic, coldly reminding him that there are no whales in the chum bucket. However, to Plankton's horror, Pearl appears and starts terrorizing him, claiming she wants to eat him. This torment goes on for 2 weeks, with Plankton becoming increasingly traumatized. His fear culminates in an elaborate nightmare where a demonic version of Pearl eats him and his relatives. But unbeknownst to Plankton, the Pearl terrorizing him is actually Mr. Krabs in disguise the entire time. Who could have seen that coming? The next day, a completely broken
Stop playing with his money, nigga.
Plankton lays on the road hoping to be run over by a bus. SpongeBob, concerned for Plankton's well-being, confronts Mr. Krabs and pleads with him to stop traumatizing Plankton. Mr. Krabs, however, refuses to listen, reminding SpongeBob that he revealed the location of the Krabby Patty formula, a violation of the Krusty Krab rulebook. And, as we now know, you can break any laws you want, but do not violate the rules, or lose money. Otherwise, go nuts. Since Mr. Krabs is unwilling to show mercy, SpongeBob has no choice but to tell Plankton about Mr. Krabs' greatest fear, mimes. Plankton is furious about Krabs' actions, but now he sees an opportunity for revenge, and he has to take it. Plankton hatches a plan to torment Mr. Krabs with a mime while he steals the secret formula. As the mime bothers Mr. Krabs, SpongeBob steps in to scare Plankton away using holographic whales, preventing him from stealing the Krabby Patty formula. The episode ends with SpongeBob releasing Mr. Krabs while the mime continues to harass him, leaving Mr. Krabs thoroughly irritated as the screen fades to black. And how bad we feel for him, right? Having almost killed someone else, he has to be mildly irritated. This is why they say eat the rich, Crab. If you think the first episode is bad, wait till you see the last one we have on the list. But the next one is Jellyfish Hunter, where Mr. Krabs is at his most despicable, committing an act of sheer cruelty that might forever change your view of him. The episode begins with SpongeBob jellyfishing in Jellyfield. He catches a jellyfish.
Wait, is this the episode where he started putting jelly in the sandwiches? Them niggas was acting like it was crack.
Cracks its jelly and gently lets it go, naming it 12y. But then he notices a rare blue jellyfish, the one jellyfish he's never caught and named, so he calls it No Name. SpongeBob tries to catch it, but No Name easily evades him, even when SpongeBob uses himself like a rocket to get closer, which you have to admit is actually a great idea. A little later, SpongeBob takes his lunch break, adding the fresh jellyfish jelly to a Krabby Patty. A customer asks to try it and is amazed by the taste, singing about its greatness and adding jelly to all of the other customers' patties. Mr. Krabs comes out of his office to investigate, and while he initially disapproves of tampering with the recipe, he quickly changes his mind when the customer promises to return every day for the rest of his life. The jelly patty is on the menu. Krabs tasks SpongeBob with gathering more jellyfish to make enough jelly for the new burger. Although it's unpaid work, SpongeBob agrees, thrilled to be doing something he loves, jellyfishing for a purpose. However, he only has one request, that Mr. Krabs keeps the jellyfish comfortable while harvesting the jelly. Mr. Krabs agrees, but as soon as SpongeBob turns around, Krabs privately promises.
Bro, do you see this nigga's eyes, bro? He's evil, bro. He love the money. I do too, nigga. We in this together. No, I can't fold out my principles though. He evil nigga.
Is to keep them comfortable in his wallet. SpongeBob goes out and catches the jellyfish, but it's not enough. Mr. Krabs demands more and more until SpongeBob has emptied jellyfish fields. He's basically murdered the entire population. When SpongeBob heads home.
Oh shit, this show is too funny, bro. This shit is ridiculous. It's thinking like the fact that I can like memorize these episodes, it just shows like SpongeBob is really one of them ones, bro. This nigga literally killed all the jelly. They didn't even kill him. He took all the jellyfish because Mr. Krabs asked for it. And there's none left. That's ridiculous.
He senses that someone is following him. He turns around, but there's nothing there. It turns out that his stalker is No Name. SpongeBob brushes the whole thing off and rushes home, but things become even weirder by the minute. No Name calls SpongeBob, breathing heavily on the line before suddenly hanging up. SpongeBob nervously laughs it off as a wrong number. But then the lights go out, which he claims is because Gary forgot to pay the electric bill. By the way, terrible idea to let your pet pay the bills. We do not endorse snail mail. SpongeBob sees a shadow in the kitchen, thinking it's Gary, but when he investigates, he finds a jellyfish patty made with blue jelly. He eats it, but something is wrong. No Name is there and immediately captures SpongeBob in a jar, taking him to a secret factory somewhere in Bikini Bottom. Inside, SpongeBob discovers that Mr. Krabs is forcibly draining the jellyfish of all their jelly to maximize profits, causing harm and possibly killing them.
Nah, this nigga's killing them, bro. Did you see how they dropped him off, bro? This nigga's a murderer, bro. This is like when you hunt the rare animals to get some shit that you know that you shouldn't be getting because it's illegal. He dead wrong for that, I ain't gonna lie.
Easily one of the most twisted and disturbing things he's ever done in the history of the show. A furious SpongeBob confronts Mr. Krabs, who tries to play it off as a tea party to distract him. Nice try. No Name helps SpongeBob see through the trick, and SpongeBob vows to free the jellyfish. But when SpongeBob tries to open the door, it won't budge. Mr. Krabs brags that the door is voice activated and only opens when he says, "Open," which...
Imagine bringing your side project to life just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform.
That nigga's an idiot.
Of course.
We know what's gonna happen.
Opens the door right away, freeing the jellyfish who swarm Mr. Krabs. He tries to escape, but he's on the stationary exercise bike used to power the machine. The jellyfish zap him before flying away, leaving him charred and defeated, forcing him finally to take jelly patties off the menu for good. No word on if charred crab is on there. SpongeBob vows never to use his jellyfishing net for anything other than sport again, believing jellyfish aren't meant to be kept in captivity. But then, No Name voluntarily enters SpongeBob's net, and SpongeBob names him Friend. They shake hands, but it stings SpongeBob, causing his hand to swell as he nervously laughs it off. And now it's as if the whole jellyfish genocide never happened. The Krusty Krab killer is free to strike again.
This nigga killed. How much of the population of jellyfish do y'all think he took out? I'm gonna be honest. I think this nigga took out a good. That looked like 50%. He let about 50% of jellyfish go and took the rest of it. This nigga was going to make jellyfish extinct to have burgers, and then they was going to be done. What was the plan, bro? What did you plan on having after this? Were you gonna breed jellyfish? Hey.
Whenever and wherever he pleases. Moving on now to One Krabs Trash, an episode that reveals Mr. Krabs' dark side as he sets out to profit from the one thing that brings SpongeBob joy, really showing off how low he'll go for some money. The episode begins with Mr. Krabs hosting a yard sale at his house, trying to sell his old worthless items by passing them off as valuable antiques. When SpongeBob and Patrick come by, Mr. Krabs sees a couple of easy-to-fool suckers and tricks them into buying some of his junk. Patrick buys a plunger and SpongeBob a soda-drinking hat, which admittedly are the two best items on offer. That's kind of a crime in itself, actually. But after they leave, several customers offer large sums of money for the highly valuable soda hat, prompting Mr. Krabs to go after SpongeBob to get it back. When Mr. Krabs finds SpongeBob, he discovers that our favorite sponge has modified the hat to blow bubbles. Knowing SpongeBob won't give it up, Krabs has to get creative. He tells SpongeBob that the hat makes him look like a girl, but SpongeBob takes it as a compliment because girls are awesome. So Mr. Krabs offers SpongeBob various other hats in exchange for the soda-drinking hat, but SpongeBob refuses all of them. Knowing that he can't convince SpongeBob to give him the hat, he resorts to trickery, one of many immoral things Krabs tends to lean into. Krabs draws a ghost on a piece of paper and attaches it to a fishing rod. He uses this fake ghost to scare SpongeBob into returning the hat, claiming the ghost is the original owner. But SpongeBob is no fool. Well, he is, but sometimes moments of genius. SpongeBob asks for the ghost's name, forcing Mr. Krabs to quickly invent Smitty Verger Jägerman Jensen. But the whole thing backfires because SpongeBob knows there's an actual dead person by that name. He even returns the hat to Smitty's grave, which is pretty sweet. To get the hat back, Mr. Krabs goes to the cemetery where he finds Squidward mourning at a grave memorializing his hopes and dreams, which is kinda dark, actually. You okay, bro? We have no time for that.
Bro, this nigga went to the graveyard to dig up some old shit to dig up a hat so he could sell it. That's a different type of money love, bro. I don't know if I should be like disappointed, shocked, or like I'm more so of like, damn, this nigga, that's the grind, bro. A lot of niggas wouldn't go to that graveyard to dig up that hat. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, he get into the bag, bro. As much as I want to hate on this nigga, it's like, bro, you take it to the extremes to get to the bag, nigga. Like, you love the bag, nigga. He love the grind, he love the hustle, nigga. He doing pranks on this nigga in the middle of sleep, bro, just to get that motherfucker back. Respect. That's all I can say.
Krabs totally ignores Squidward and searches the cemetery until he finds Smitty's enormous tombstone. He digs up the grave and retrieves the hat, but as soon as he takes it, Smitty Verben Jägerman Jensen rises from the dead and demands it back. But when Mr. Krabs refuses, Smitty summons an army of skeletons to do his bidding. Mr. Krabs fights them all off and narrowly escapes with the hat. But when Mr. Krabs returns, the business people reveal they've discovered an entire warehouse full of hats, making them virtually worthless. Mr. Krabs is devastated by the lost opportunity to make a fortune. Too bad, Krabs. Should have been nicer to your people. SpongeBob, wearing a new hat with clapping hands, catches the attention of these same business people. They immediately begin offering higher sums for the new hat than they ever did for the soda hat, chasing after SpongeBob in hopes of buying it. Mr. Krabs, realizing he's lost out on another financial opportunity, collapses in tears. Squidward walks by and, seeing Mr. Krabs sobbing about his lost profit, calls him a baby. And honestly, given how much Squidward tolerates from the guy, who can blame him, big red baby? In Pizza Delivery, Mr. Krabs shows his true colors by putting his employees in danger without a second thought. Who could ever have imagined that this was not the worst thing Mr. Krabs has ever done? The episode begins with Squidward answering a last-minute phone call as the Krusty Krab closes, only to have Mr. Krabs snatch the phone and take the customer's order. He wants a pizza delivery, despite the fact that the Krusty Krab doesn't serve pizza or offer delivery, which seems like a problem. Naturally, Squidward objects because, well, they literally do not have it, but Mr. Krabs hastily makes a pizza out of Krabby Patties and forces Squidward and SpongeBob to deliver it anyway, because who cares about their lives when money is at stake? What are they, royalty? SpongeBob doesn't have his boating license, but Squidward insists it's a short trip and encourages SpongeBob to do what you do in school. Of course, SpongeBob panics and accidentally reverses them miles away, stranding them in the middle of an uninhabited desert, which actually is exactly what SpongeBob does in boating school. Arguably better, actually. With the pizza getting cold, Squidward kicks
Why does SpongeBob only drive in reverse? This nigga's an idiot, bro, but it's funny.
the boat in frustration, causing it to drive off on its own and leaving them to deliver the pizza on foot. Nice work, Squiddy. The two of them venture off on their quest, but struggle on foot. SpongeBob, inspired by an old pioneer trick, listens to the ground for approaching vehicles. Hearing a truck coming, he performs a strange dance to get the driver's attention, but the truck speeds up, nearly hitting him, so I guess it still counts. The two of them get caught up in a tornado, saved only by the pizza, but when they eventually land, Squidward realizes they've lost sight of the road. Well, don't worry. SpongeBob, a natural wilderness sponge, suggests following moss on a rock, which he claims points to civilization, another pioneering trick. But Squidward, who's more of a city octopus, refuses and walks in the opposite direction. Unfortunate, because SpongeBob was right. The two of them are exhausted and hungry, and Squidward wants to eat the pizza, and SpongeBob insists it has to be delivered. After chasing one another, they spot a giant rock. Well, SpongeBob recalls that pioneers used rocks for transportation all the time, a fact that pushes Squidward over the edge. He knows why there are no pioneers left. They all died due to their bad eating habits, and
Sometimes I get mad because I know my nigga Ty never watched SpongeBob, and this is such a like, bro. This nigga said this nigga said the rock don't take them where they need to be. I'd have been mad as hell too. I ain't gonna lie. Squidward always had a real reason to be angry. When you really look back on it, like he just felt like these niggas was talking bullshit, bro. And it's real. It's real.
weird travel methods. But then SpongeBob successfully drives the rock, and hard to disagree with that one. They ride the rock to the destination, but the customer is furious when he realizes there's no drink. He throws the pizza in SpongeBob's face, devastating Bikini Bottom's best delivery boy. Squidward feels sorry for SpongeBob, who can't stop crying, believing he ruined the customer's day. Enraged by the customer's behavior, Squidward storms back to the door and slams the pizza in the customer's face in retaliation for being so rude to his friend. A Squidward win at last. Squidward lies about the whole thing, telling SpongeBob that the customer ate the pizza in one bite, even without the drink. It's exactly what SpongeBob needs to hear. He enthusiastically drives them back to the Krusty Krab, which it turns out was right across the street the whole time. I think for my sanity, we should probably overlook the logic of this whole episode. Next up in our list, an episode where Mr. Krabs hates humans so much that he uses one wish to speak to his true love. Money talks. The episode begins at the Krusty Krab, where a customer requests a specific table already occupied by two elderly patrons. Kinda difficult, but okay. SpongeBob politely explains that he can sit there once the elderly couple leaves, but the customer offers to pay $5 if he can sit there immediately. Well, Mr. Krabs isn't gonna pass up that opportunity. He accepts the offer and promptly kicks the elderly couple out without hesitation, proudly telling his employee, "Money talks." And boy, he really wishes it did. Mr. Krabs sits at home trying to force his money to talk, but it remains silent because, I don't know, it's not a living thing? Frustrated, he loudly says he would do anything to talk to money. Right at that moment, the Flying Dutchman appears and offers to grant Mr. Krabs' wish on
taking the time to savor Thomas's crunchy yet soft bagels.
Thanks, Tom.
Bro, the fact that this nigga begged for his money to talk. Mr. Krabs, bro. Oh, let me go back.
offers to grant Mr. Krabs' wish on one condition. Mr. Krabs has to sell his soul. Well, Mr. Krabs is so eager to communicate with his beloved money that he blindly agrees to the deal with no hesitation. The Flying Dutchman throws pixie dust on him, sealing the pact, and he's locked into this deal. When Mr. Krabs wakes, he thinks the whole thing was just a weird dream, but to his shock, his money begins to talk to him. It really happened. At first, he's thrilled by the prospect of finally getting to speak with his money. He eagerly gathers all the cash from his safe at the Krusty Krab and brings it home to start talking. But much to his dismay, the money doesn't say what he expected. All it ever talks about is how badly it wants to be spent. After all, that is what money is for, right? It's what I tell myself to feel better about being broke. Mr. Krabs gives in to the demands of his money, spending it on bizarre stuff like fairy princess outfits, corn dogs, and diapers. It's actually very relatable. But despite his love for money, Mr. Krabs becomes increasingly concerned about how quickly it's slipping through his fingers. When SpongeBob asks about Mr. Krabs' health, Krabs hands him a bag of money and urges him to bury it somewhere he can't spend it. Mr. Krabs quickly realizes that hiding the money defeats its purpose, and it just takes money away from him. So he snatches the bag back from SpongeBob, reassuring him that everything is fine. But as time passes, Mr. Krabs grows restless. He regrets the deal he made. Overwhelmed by the constant demands of his talking money, he longs to undo the deal. But when the Flying Dutchman reappears to collect Mr. Krabs' soul, he discovers an IOU instead. You see, Mr. Krabs reveals that he's already sold his soul to someone else. Multiple someone's else, actually.
Think of Mr. Krabs might be legend, bro. Like, this first off, bro, this nigga sold his soul. But this nigga talking about he sold his soul to multiple people. Why is there so many niggas in line for this nigga's soul, bro? He just wants the money that bad? What is the reason you sold your soul this many times? SpongeBob might be one of the funniest shows ever, bro. I swear to God.
A line of monster-like ghosts appears. It turns out that Mr. Krabs has repeatedly sold his soul to different entities, including SpongeBob, because Mr. Krabs had been short on his payday. Come to think of it, this episode really seems to suggest Krabs is taking part in some questionable financial schemes. Fast food and insurance fraud is one heck of a combination. Moving on to Out of the Picture, an episode that shows Mr. Krabs' greed crossing into dangerous territory as he evolves from a frugal business owner into a straight-up murderer. The episode begins with Squidward trying to sell his paintings at the Krusty Krab, demanding the uninterested customer's attention. But one customer is so horrified by Squidward's art that he burns his own eyes after seeing it. The chaos and self-combustion prompts Mr. Krabs to shut down the art show.
Bro, I gotta watch SpongeBob again. This shit is ridiculous, bro. How the fuck is this nigga's art making them burn? Like, spontaneously combust, nigga. What is going on, bro? Look at this shit, bro. Look at what I'm looking. Look at what we're all looking at on the screen right now, bro. This nigga is literally. This is not like. What is he painting? A bunch of Squidwards, bro, with eyes? Like, I'm not, bro.
Guaranteeing that Squidward won't sell any paintings. However, SpongeBob steps in, telling Krabs he bought one of Squidward's paintings. An art appraiser arrives and deems the art worthless, but notes that an artist's work tends to become more valuable when the artist is, out of the picture. Giving Mr. Krabs an idea. Squidward has to die. Whoa, man. Big leap from penny pinching to squid crunching. Mr. Krabs starts coming up with ideas to eliminate Squidward, assigning him increasingly dangerous delivery tasks. First, Squidward is sent to Antarctica to deliver a frozen Krabby Patty. On his journey, he mistakes a snow sponge for SpongeBob, but the real SpongeBob is already there, casually eating ice. So, together, they deliver this frozen burger to an Arctic sperm whale. After the successful delivery, Squidward returns to the Krusty Krab to the disappointment of Mr. Krabs, who decides to send him on another treacherous mission, this time to deliver food to the rock bottomites. And SpongeBob is not allowed to go due to his habit of keeping Squidward alive. It's not very helpful. Squidward is dropped off at rock bottom and climbs down a ladder into the eerie town, panicking at the sight of its weird inhabitants. But SpongeBob suddenly appears, explaining that the rock bottomites aren't monsters, they're his friends. Squidward is given yet another delivery by Mr. Krabs. Squidward is stuffed into a rock.
Bro, this nigga was trying to kill him, bro. He was trying to kill him, bro. You wanted the bread that bad. He was gonna kill one of his workers, bro. This nigga is a real demon. He was going through it. He wanted the money. He just wants the bread, bro. That's all it comes down to. But every time I see what he has, I get a little angry, I ain't gonna lie. Because why was I looking at change stacked up all the way up here in that last one, bro. Why the fuck did he have that much change? Mr. Krabs, bro, you're like, bro, it looked like you broke, but you doing all this for bread? I don't get it, bro. You gotta be a millionaire.
Rocket and launched to Mars. But upon landing, he insults Mars, angering the Martians who eat him alive. By this point, Mr. Krabs is confident Squidward is gone for good, allowing him to profit from the art. But SpongeBob points out a UFO that returns Squidward to the Krusty Krab covered in green Martian slime. Squidward recovers quickly. Because he's alive, the appraiser rips off the $150,000 tag on Squidward's paintings, infuriating Mr. Krabs, who realizes he lost his chance at making money. He was fine with murdering Squidward, but he draws the line at not making money. Fearing for his life, Squidward flees as Mr. Krabs chases him with a mallet, a last-ditch effort to kill him and increase the value of his art. SpongeBob sneaks up on Squidward, telling him he won't leave him alone until he's safe. But Squidward insists he won't be safe until his paintings are destroyed once and for all. Armed with a chainsaw, Squidward hesitates to go through with it, viewing his paintings as too beautiful to destroy, but...
Bro. Do you see this nigga Squidward, bro? What is this painting? This is when they ask you, like, would you sign your mans out for da-da-da-da-da? And this nigga, Mr. Krabs, would 100% do it. Every single time. For the bread, for the cheese, he not changing up. To an extent, what else can you do but respect it?
Eventually, he gives in and tears them apart. The damage upsets Mr. Krabs, but the art appraiser declares it to be the most exhilarating performance art he's ever seen. Realizing there's money to be made, Mr. Krabs joins in, and together with Squidward, they damage the Krusty Krab's property. But of course, the whole thing goes too far, and when the roof collapses on both of them, the appraiser puts the scene, the merging of Mr. Krabs and Squidward, on display in a museum, declaring it a masterpiece. Not a bad outcome, considering how very close we came to actual workplace homicide. Well, octopus sashimi, but, you know, same thing. Krusty Krab training video exposes the harsh reality of working for Mr. Krabs, and it's as unappealing as you would think. But it's nothing compared to the cruelty to come. The episode is presented as an industrial-style training video for new employees at the Krusty Krab, primarily targeting SpongeBob himself. The narrator starts by congratulating SpongeBob on becoming the restaurant's latest hire. Ever eager to make a Krabby Patty, SpongeBob asks if he can get started, but the narrator informs him that he must complete his company training before handling a spatula. Seems a little overkill, but let's see what happens. The video then delves into the origin story of the Krusty Krab, explaining how its founder, Mr. Eugene Krabs, came to own the restaurant. After serving in the war, Mr. Krabs fell into a long period of depression, but his fortunes turned around when he purchased a bankrupt retirement home and transformed it into the now famous Krusty Krab. Fast forward to the present day, the video showcases how the Krusty Krab has modernized using the latest in fast food technology. We're talking incredible innovation tools like spatulas and cash registers. These innovations are said to be part of Mr. Krabs' effort to maintain customer satisfaction and ensure the restaurant stays profitable. I don't know about you, but it seems like the standards are pretty low here. The video then shifts focus to the qualities of a good employee, using SpongeBob as the perfect example. SpongeBob is enthusiastic, diligent, and always ready to serve customers. In contrast, Squidward represents a poor employee, showcasing laziness, a lack of motivation, and poor customer service skills. The video also emphasizes the importance of the acronym POOP. People order our patties. It's a central lesson for any new employee. Customer service and prompt preparation are the top priorities at the Krusty Krab. Ironically, two things Mr. Krabs is not great at. Then we move into several other key topics like personal hygiene and maintaining a clean workstation. The narrator stresses that employees must be clean and well-groomed before starting their shift. SpongeBob, of course, exemplifies these qualities, while Squidward once again serves as a perfect example of what not to do.
Bro, why was Squidward shitting sleep with the door open? Let's make it make sense. I love this shit, bro, because it just, like, it has to be, SpongeBob has to be the dumbest show ever, and, like, there's a reason why it's so dumb, And I love it, bro. I love this shit, bro. What would we do without SpongeBob? Please, somebody explain to me.
Then we come to the really interesting part. The narrator offers advice on interacting with Mr. Krabs himself. Employees are encouraged to communicate with him as often as possible, though never to ask for a raise, as Mr. Krabs' love for money ensures a strict no to any such requests. The fact that the training video for the job has an entire section dedicated to learning how to communicate with their boss is pretty wild. It's like he's conditioning them from the first moment to never expect actual reasonable compensation. And that, of course, is a crime. After all,
Not to Mr. Krabs, though. It's about the money. Look at this nigga, bro.
all the fundamental aspects of being a Krusty Krab employee are explained, the narrator asks SpongeBob if he's ready to make a Krabby Patty. Just as SpongeBob eagerly agrees, the video abruptly ends. Get to work, kid. Getting close to the worst is Crabborg, which gives us a closer look at Mr. Krabs' selfish interactions with the people in his life. Or should that be shellfish interactions? The episode begins with SpongeBob and Gary watching a scary movie about robots taking over the world. The usual dystopian sci-fi terror stuff. Gary warns SpongeBob not to watch it, knowing scary movies tend to freak him out, but SpongeBob refuses. He's a big boy, he can handle this. Later that night, however, SpongeBob is too scared to sleep, worrying that everyone he knows might be a robot. He has a nightmare in which the robot from the movie chases him, and no, it's not Gary, we think. The next day at the Krusty Krabs, SpongeBob is paranoid, convinced that robots are everywhere. He mistakes everything he sees for robots, cleaning equipment, a warning light, everything. Meanwhile, Mr. Krabs is in his office, dancing to his radio. SpongeBob overhears Mr. Krabs saying he feels recharged, and hears him talking to his radio in what he believes is a robot language, and his mind quickly pieces it together. Mr. Krabs is a robot imposter. SpongeBob tells Squidward, who dismisses SpongeBob's insane claims, but SpongeBob decides to run a few tests to prove that Mr. Krabs is a robot. He tests Krabs' sense of humor by having Squidward tell a joke. When Krabs doesn't laugh, SpongeBob believes it's because robots can't laugh, but Squidward insists that Mr. Krabs has just heard the joke before. Then SpongeBob tests Mr. Krabs' emotions by telling him Squidward's father never hugged him, but he forgets that Krabs is emotionally dead, so when Mr. Krabs offers a dismissive response, SpongeBob only becomes more convinced. Finally, SpongeBob attempts the love test by telling Mr. Krabs that Squidward loves him, but Mr. Krabs merely tells him to get back.
Bro, you think this nigga give a fuck about that shit, bro? You think this nigga give a fuck about that love shit, nigga? All he want is that bread, nigga. He want that money, nigga. He want that shit that's gonna get him, nigga, from point A to point B, and he never gonna spend it. And I understand him. As a real man, as a real nigga, I get it.
Back to work. That one, admittedly, was a very long shot. Actually, if Krabs had responded, it may well have been workplace harassment, which would be an actual crime. In his office, Mr. Krabs' radio breaks. He decides to give the batteries to his daughter Pearl as a Christmas present, which is
This nigga ridiculously cheap. What the fuck? Why would you give your daughter broken...
sweet in a money-hungry crab kind of way. Just as he prepares to eat a hard-boiled egg, SpongeBob interrupts him again, startling Mr. Krabs and causing him to throw a salt shaker into his eyes. As Mr. Krabs runs out of his office, screaming in pain with glowing red bloodshot eyes holding tongs in his hands, Squidward sees him and becomes convinced that Mr. Krabs is a robot. He tells SpongeBob to do the unthinkable, call the Navy. A good solution to every problem. But the automated phone system makes SpongeBob think robots have taken over the Navy too. In a moment of irrational panic, Squidward announces over the microphone that robots are taking over the world, causing all the customers to flee the Krusty Krab. When Mr. Krabs returns from the bathroom, he heads back to his office, unaware that the restaurant is now empty. Of course, if he knew he wasn't making money, well, he would be very aware of that. SpongeBob remembers that in the movie, the characters got information from the robots to determine the real person. So he and Squidward tie up Mr. Krabs and interrogate him, which is a totally normal reaction to this whole situation. But when Mr. Krabs insists he's the real deal, they turn their attention to interrogating and then smashing his kitchen appliances one by one, including his beloved cash register. As Mr. Krabs breaks down in tears, he reveals his emotional attachment to the cash register, proving that he isn't a robot. Realizing their mistake, SpongeBob remembers that the movie ended with the reveal that the robot invasion was all in the character's imagination. Well, that would have been a great thing to remember hours earlier, wouldn't it? Embarrassed by his actions, SpongeBob quickly runs off to feed Gary, leaving Squidward to face the consequences of their actions alone. As Squidward nervously sweeps up the mess, a furious Mr. Krabs screams his name. Really starting to think SpongeBob is the true villain of this whole show. Now, the very last on our list. We return to the business world as Mr. Krabs abandons the restaurant business to find something more profitable and partly illegal. It goes by the name of Krusty Towers. The episode starts with Squidward and SpongeBob walking to work, SpongeBob annoying Squidward as usual. But when they arrive at the Krusty Krab, they discover that the restaurant has been transformed into a towering
Alright, let's keep going. I don't remember this
hotel called the Krusty Towers. Because the hotel business isn't just for con artists, scammers, and presidential candidates. You know what? You're right. It's a business for criminals. Mr. Krabs proudly reveals that he just returned from a vacation where he was charged outrageously high hotel bills. Seeing how profitable it could be, he decides to turn the Krusty Krab into a hotel. He tells SpongeBob and Squidward that the hotel follows the golden rule he learned from his trip. We shall never deny a guest even the most ridiculous request, enshrining it on a plaque in the hotel. Mr. Krabs makes SpongeBob and Squidward his new hotel employees. Goody for them. Their first customer orders a double Krabby Patty, but leaves after learning that he must book a room and order room service to get food. Soon after, Patrick arrives and becomes the hotel's first real guest, saying he just needs to get away from it all, even though, he does nothing. Squidward is forced to carry Patrick's bags to his room using the employee elevator, which is just a staircase. Patrick then continues to make increasingly
Bro, this shit is so fucking stupid, bro. Why did they have an employee elevator and do it, bro?
ridiculous requests, sending Squidward up and down the stairs repeatedly. Annoyed by Patrick's unreasonable demands, Squidward
I do remember this episode, bro. I do. I remember Patrick was on this nigga ass.
Complains to Mr. Krabs, who refuses to intervene, reminding Squidward of the hotel's rules to always accommodate guests, no matter what. But when Patrick requests a bubble bath, Squidward finally reaches his breaking point. Squidward quits, walks out, and returns as a hotel guest, planning to get back at Mr. Krabs by exploiting the hotel's rules. Squidward demands a room on the top floor as a guest and forces Mr. Krabs to carry him there. He begins making increasingly ridiculous requests, ordering a Krabby Patty with cheese, nose hair, and toenail clippings, and making Mr. Krabs eat it for his amusement. He even forces Mr. Krabs to go to his mother's house to get cookies like the ones she makes. Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob comply with every demand, including redecorating Squidward's room multiple times, only for him to ask for the original design once again. They don't call it room service for nothing. Squidward then demands that the outdoor pool be brought inside and converted into an indoor pool. Mr. Krabs has no choice but to follow the demands. Once the pool is moved indoors, Patrick jumps in, the weight collapsing the entire hotel, leaving only the original Krusty Krab standing. SpongeBob, Squidward, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs survive the collapse, but end up in the hospital, heavily bandaged and in casts. Mr. Krabs is given a $15,000 hospital bill and immediately decides to abandon the hotel idea. Instead, they're all going to medical school, to the excitement of SpongeBob and Patrick and the dismay of Squidward. I mean, what did you expect from Mr. Krabs?
Chat. Shout out Mr. Krabs. Let me tell y'all something. As much as y'all want to get on a nigga for doing some hoe shit to make his money, it's about the grind, alright? It's about the fucking hustle. And he's about that. Y'all gotta look up to my nigga Mr. Krabs. Okay? He's a fuck nigga. But he did what he had to do to handle what he had to do to get where he gotta get to handle the, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't gotta keep going on that. But you know what I'm talking about. Shout out my nigga Master.
Ha! Love hard and make bad decisions. It's first Sunday, I'm still begging for Jesus. Can he save me from the fire and the Jezebel spirits? Got bad bitches walking through my thoughts like a demon. Will she take my semen, bear my seed? Can she